Be bold. Be brave. Be extraordinary. Be vulnerable. Be real. Be curious. Be true. Be you. Welcome to Trusting Your Gut with world-class energy intuitive Katherine McIntosh, a show designed to awaken you to enjoy the process of evolving, have fun along the way, and learn to listen to those silent in-between moments. You are the expert of your own life, and nobody knows more about the next steps to take in your journey than you. So please, listen to your gut and discover what's waiting for you to explore. Here is your host, Katherine McIntosh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. So today we are going to talk about the secret gifts your body wished you knew. And so, I have had the pleasure of the last 20 years of working on people from all over the world, from all walks of life. So I've worked with Hollywood, I've worked with billionaires, I've worked with really successful entrepreneurs. I've also worked with stay-at-home moms and people just needing to change. And, I'm fascinated by what every session we uncover. And I feel so lucky to have the option to do what I do. Now, I'm really good at showing up for other people, and yet I still have my own blind spots. And we all have our blind spots. But here's some to share with you. You can start implementing today to make a big shift in your life. And so when our words have power, and most of us know that, right? And so everything we think and we say, we create in our lives. So if we say we're having a bad day, well, sometimes that day can get even worse. When we say, wow, today isn't the best day, or when we say I have a slow metabolism, or I have, in my genetics, everyone in my family is an alcoholic or they're bipolar. Now, yes, our family lineage can pass on things in our body, but I also have met the exception to every rule. And so it doesn't matter how old or young you are, what color you are, what race you are, what country you were born in, there is the exception to every rule. And working with extremely successful people, I feel so lucky to sort of look at what they did. And most of the people I work with have been self-made. And so they might have been born into extreme poverty, but yet they don't buy that they have to live in extreme poverty. And so for some reason, when it comes to the physical body and our health state of existence, we sometimes think that we're going to be predisposed or predispositioned to follow in our family's lineage. And that could be true. But if you don't want to repeat your family's health journey, health cycle, mental, emotional, and physical, there's some things that you can do, because the body literally can rewire itself. It can rebuild itself. It can heal itself. But we need to be doing a few things that are quite sort of important in our journey in order to allow the body to turn on its own healing abilities. And so, when I work with people, my point of view is that I'm just a conduit. I'm not the one doing it. I'm just opening up what was already there. And it's always a co-creative process. I actually prefer to work with people that really want to be involved in their own healing journey, in their own sort of evolutionary journey, and in their own growth journey. Because the truth is that we all have the capacity to completely transform who we are, what we are, how we live, and what we do. And what we need to do is let go of those limiting beliefs that keep us trapped. And so if you are someone who keeps repeating, and you guys have heard me say this on previous episodes, so if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Please feel free to subscribe. You can join us every week on this channel where I give you tips in order to make your life better, to sort of go on your own personal journey where you become the best you can be. And, if it were up to me, we would all be living our best lives. We would all be shining as bright as we possibly can, because the brighter you shine, the more impact you make on people around you and on the world. And wouldn't it be great if we all could just, on those days where we're having bad days, we're surrounded by people all around us everywhere that are lighting us up, right? Plugging us into that universal outlet of infinite energy. And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to stop telling yourself the story you've been telling yourself. If you keep saying, I have a slow metabolism, I'm overweight, I've always been overweight, my family's overweight, my mom put me on a diet at 10, I have heart disease in my family, everyone on my mom's side has gotten breast cancer, like whatever it is, stop saying that story, because everything you think and say, your body literally creates it, because the body is made up of 60 to 76% water, and water responds to energy. So you put a message on water that says love or gratitude or I am enough or you are enough, and the molecules of the water adjust to the vibration. If you also simultaneously put words such as, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, I don't know what's wrong with me, I am bipolar, or I have this disease. Well, all of a sudden, you've taken that molecule of water that's totally pure, that has no point of view, that's just there. Water responds to vibrations. Water responds to words. Water responds to energy. And so what you say and what you think really, really matters. And so if you truly want to change where you are and get where you'd like to be, you have to be willing to catch your thoughts. And so, point number one is pay attention to what you're thinking. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. You can check him out online. He's got some amazing stuff. I was fortunate enough to do a 7-day retreat with him last summer, which was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. And so what you think and what you say really matters. And so step one, if you really want to rewire, transform, evolve, and heal, you have to begin to stop the thoughts that are creating the dis-ease or the thing that you don't want. Because if you keep saying something that you don't want, you're going to keep creating what you don't want. And so step number one is catch the thoughts. And I used to think this was kind of ridiculous, was to take out a journal and write down every thought I think. So I personally have done it for every area. So like I will put on the top of a page on my journal. I have hundreds of journals. I'm not kidding. I'm in the process of moving, and it's amazing how many journals I am lugging around with me, and I've been lugging around for almost 20 years now, actually longer than that. But I like writing. And writing helps me sort of stream of consciousness, figure out what direction I'm heading, what's in the way of where I would like to go, and what I can do more of. And so my recommendation is to take out a journal and take the areas or topics that feel really valuable and important to you. So health is a huge topic, right? Wealth is a huge topic, or abundance, right? Job or career, family or relationships, right? And so you want to kind of take these topics, right? And I'll do them, I'll even like subcategorize. So like I have one for this business, like my podcast. I have one for my coaching consulting business. I have one for my merchandise. And I look at what are the limiting points of views that I might have that I haven't allowed myself to kind of put pen to paper. And when I do, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that thought was there. No wonder why there's a roadblock. No wonder why there's a struggle." And so you can do this with your body, your food, your body image, your wealth, your relationships, your business, your bank accounts, your investments. And so, I grew up in a family where it was taught to us that it is very important to work hard for your money. And so I spent a good portion of my time working hard for my money. I was really good at it. I loved it, but I never learned how to work easy for my money or how to let money work easy for me. So investing, right? Real estate. I was in real estate, and because I didn't have the point of view that I could let my money work for me, rather I had to work hard for the money, right? I had a lot of investment properties at a pretty young age and was making a lot of money, and when I got divorced, I gave it all away. Now, if I would have had to let my money work for me, I might have hung on to those investment properties, or I might not have given all of my wealth away. And so for each of you, you might go, "I don't want to do that. I don't want to write down what I'm thinking, all the negative thoughts. Isn't that going to energize the negative thoughts?" And it's like, no, actually, it will give you awareness and insight into what you're thinking when you're not paying attention. Because if you've ever taken a moment to try to meditate, you know that in meditation, the practice of meditation isn't to be clear. The practice of meditation is to witness your thoughts and notice how many thoughts move through your awareness at any given time. And it's the thoughts that we pay attention to, that we focus on, that we look out for, that really dictate the course of our life, right? I used to be an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and the concept of, there's this idea that's your point of view creates your reality. All right. And so every point of view you think creates how the world shows up for you, how you see the world, how you respond to the world, how you react. And so I, am lucky to live in Aspen, Colorado, a very incredible, eclectic, wealthy place. And um and I've learned a lot from a lot of my clients who have happened to build their wealth, who create wealth, who grew up with wealth. And, I witness their point of view, right? That it's everywhere. Money's everywhere. There is no lack. It's always choice. I watch a lot of my clients give away a lot, support a lot of people in the process, and they're happy to do so. And I was like, "Oh gosh, I've never been happy to support people." I've been generous in other ways with my time, with my energy, and I have been generous with my wealth, but from a different place. They're able to do it on a totally different level. And so, for each of you out there, there is a world available to you that you haven't yet chosen, right? And I was coaching a group of people today. I'm doing a class called the Body Shift Awakening, and it's all about taking these little steps every day to, over time, make a big body shift. And, a lot of people spend their lives trying to change their body, thinking that if they change their body, they'll change their life. And I always say, no, focus on your life and on what makes you happy and on what energizes you and where you want to put your energy, and your body will change, right? Changing your body is not changing your life, it's just changing your body. And a lot of people don't don't focus on building their life because they're trying to change their body first. And so the body is this amazing asset that we all have that responds to energy. So if you start to, one, Take out a journal, write down all those thoughts that are in the way that you might not even know you have. And when you start writing stream of consciousness, I sometimes play classical music, or I'll play like singing bowl music, or I'll just play like a sound where I don't have to think. And then I just ask, okay, body, show me what are my limitations. Write them out. Okay, show me the limitations I have in my business. Okay, show me the limitations I have in relationship, right? Like I live in Aspen, Colorado. I've been single for a long time, intentionally so. And I'm starting to feel this energy coming in. And I'm like, okay. But I'm also noticing that because I live in a small town, I have a few limiting points of views that may prevent the right person from coming into my world and into my universe. And so each of you has a capacity to one, catch your limiting thoughts, because when you catch them, guess what? You'll start paying attention to them, so that when they come up, step 2 is to not focus on them, to not energize them, to not try and clear them or resolve them or process them, but to let them go. Because here's the deal. We have 8 billion-ish people on the planet, and 8 billion people all have something that they're trying to fix or solve or resolve or change. And you might have a lot of similar vibrations with a lot of people out of those 8 billion. And so you might be going around your day, and then, happened to me the other day. I went to a concert and I got distracted by someone who I didn't really resonate with their energy. And it totally took me down a rabbit hole for a minute until I got myself out of it. And so sometimes we think we need to change or facilitate ourselves or clear out or protect ourselves from negative energy. You can't really. How you do that is you raise your vibration. But imagine raising your vibration and having your eyesight on everything negative. It kind of doesn't work. But when you raise your vibration and you open up your world, you start receiving like vibrations. And so when those negative moments come in, you're like, oh, yeah, that's not mine. Oh, that's not relevant to where I want to go. But most of us have been entrained that we need to make those heavy, dense, hard, challenging, sometimes depressing energies, we need to make them relevant. And I'm here to tell you that the quickest way to the path to success for you is to become conscious of, aware of those negative limiting beliefs, those beliefs that stop you, and then no longer speak them, no longer think them. And what I mean by think them is let the thought pass through your universe, right? Like flour through a sieve, right? Don't stop the flour from going through the sieve and going, oh my gosh, I need to take this clump of flour to my therapist. No. Why is that clump of flour there? It's the most ridiculous thing. And yet we've been entrained through psychology and just in general the way that we've been taught to process information to focus on those things. And yet when the most successful people I have ever met, they also have those negative limiting beliefs. They also have tons of insecurities. They also have doubts and worries and fears. The difference is that in the areas of where they are successful, they don't let a negative thought or a limiting belief stop them. They just let it pass through them like flour through a sieve. And so, number one, write your negative thoughts in a journal. Catch them, and go, okay, I'm going to recognize that this is just something that I have, that I've programmed myself to pay attention to. And so then we have our psychic antennas up to a problem, right? And then guess what? We attract that problem. And the more we focus on that problem, the more that problem gets rooted in our DNA, in our cells, in our genetics. And so, I am witness to being in a family line with a lot of stuff, and I never really energized it. And yet there are people in my family that I watch energize those limiting beliefs, and their life doesn't work out in the way that they would like. And so I have the point of view that you can change anything, you can transform anything, right? You can't change the people around you. You have to change you. But I will tell you that in my own personal experience, when you change you, the people around you change. And those that don't change will no longer bug you because you've elevated your vibration. And so I went to this concert on Saturday at Red Rocks National Park or Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morrison, Colorado. It's an incredible venue. And for 3 to 5 songs, I let this energy that was kind of around me get to me, and I had to work through it. And as I was moving my body and dancing to the music, I started to really like work it out. And within about 5 songs, I had let go of that energy, raised my vibration. And so the energies that were still around me were still the same. They just weren't bugging me anymore. And so we have have let ourselves get bogged down or bugged by energies that we don't want. And the third step to this is start to raise your vibration. Start to focus on things that are working. So moving's a pain. I'm literally mid-move. If you saw the room, it looks clean from here, but it's a disaster. My whole house is a disaster. Everything's being packed up. The movers are coming tomorrow morning, but I wanted to keep this stuff up for the show. And so I could be like, "Oh my god, I hate moving. Oh my god, this is the worst." And guess what? I'm now energizing everything that I don't like in my life, everything that isn't working. So instead, as I've been packing, I've been saying, "Thank you, house, for housing me for 4 years. Thank you for being the place that I landed in when I moved to Aspen." It's been 4 and a half, almost 5 years. "Thank you for giving me shelter. Thank you for allowing me to be so close into town. I can ride my bike, that I can kinda be a hub for my friends." And, I'm also like, "Wow, thank you for allowing me to find a place that's, has a little bit more land to it. I have a labyrinth on the property that I'm moving to. I have skylights and cathedral ceilings and natural light. And this house doesn't have a whole lot of natural light." So I've been, instead of energizing everything that I didn't like or that I don't like or that isn't working, I've been energizing everything that I'm grateful for. And so, one, you write down your negative thoughts, you become aware of them, you become conscious of them. Number two, you stop them in their tracks. Number three, you start focusing on what is working. And number four, have gratitude for everything, right? So, something negative occurs in your life, you can take a moment and say, "Thank you," right? "Thank you for showing me, teaching me." So when I was in this space, part of what I was beginning to, instead of being like, I don't like my space, my plant, like my plants don't do very well here. In fact, most of my plants in the 4 years I've been here have died. So I started having orchids, and I started to be grateful for the orchids, right? And so as I was looking at, okay, next place I move to, I'd love cathedral ceilings, right? I have low ceilings here. They're not super low. They're just not high. I don't have a lot of natural light. So I started to be like, I look forward to having natural light in my world. I look forward to cathedral ceilings. I look forward to skylights, right? So my upstairs neighbor has skylights and we're good friends. And every time I go to her house, I'm like, I love your skylights. So I started asking for skylights. Lo and behold, right? I get to move into a place with cathedral ceilings and skylights. I also, when I was here, there's not a plot of land on this property for my son to play soccer, for him to play outside with his friends. So I asked for land. I got land. I got a labyrinth. I have a gazebo. I have a stream. There's moose and bears and deer that get to visit the property. And so every time that something isn't going our way, it gives us a chance to plant a seed for what we do want. Really simple. And so you're going to write in your journal all the roadblocks that you currently have, all the limiting points of views and limiting beliefs that are stopping you, right? So, and it's really powerful. And then you stop them when they come through. And then you start focusing on what is working in your life. And then you start having gratitude for everything. So those are the four main ones. I do want to talk about something else in relationship to this, which is about enjoying the journey, right? We get so obsessed with getting to our destination that we forget that the entire process of having your life be a success. And when I say success, I know a lot of wealthy people who are not happy. I don't consider that success. Success is really waking up loving your life, waking up knowing that you can create anything, waking up knowing that you are in charge of your destiny, right? That you can control certain things. So maybe your family has a history of heart disease or cancer or kidney failure. Maybe your family has a history of bipolar or some sort of mental health challenge or severe depression, maybe. But just because it's in your family's line doesn't mean you also have to adopt that. So I've watched my family, certain family members, they definitely carried on the tradition of having mental health challenges. Other family members, right, me included, have gone, that's not my story. I'm going to change that story. And so the fifth piece of this is to make a demand so loud in your universe that you can change anything and everything. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that after we take a break. And we'll also talk about the importance of enjoying this journey so that you can really begin to rewire your body. I'm going to give you guys some tips that you can literally start doing today with your body to rewire, to heal it, to activate your own body's healing capacities, and to begin sort of allowing your path to be different in the direction that you would like it to go. So stay tuned and we'll be back after the break.
OMTimes TV.
Do you trust you? Do you trust your body? What if the key to unlocking the weight, pain, suffering, fear, anxiety, addictions, traumas, and sorrows was already inside of you? Learn to love the skin you are in so you can create the body, business, and life you love. Everyone always says you can't explain what Katherine does, you just have to experience it. From Hollywood actors to New York Times best-selling authors to some of the world's wealthiest and most successful, no two experiences are the same. For private sessions, online courses, live events, and the latest book Jack Canfield calls Game Changer and should be required reading for everyone, go to KatherineMcIntosh.com. KatherineMcIntosh.com.
Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
All right, my friends, so we are back from the break talking about how to rewire, energize your body, and really activate your body's healing capacities. And so, please start doing the steps that I invited you to look at. And so just to recap, and I apologize, I forgot step 5, but one is to catch your negative thoughts. Journal. So you can take each topic, your body, your weight, your health, your relationships, your love life, your heart, whatever, like be specific if you'd like to, right? Catch your negative thoughts, journal, and then just like be aware that those are there. And so when they come through your field of awareness, you're going to stop them. And that's step 2 is to stop them. And step 3 is to focus on what is working. So don't energize. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have that negative thought. No, there's stuff around us happening all the time. 8 billion people on the planet. We don't have to energize what isn't working. And so you begin to, right, focus on what is working. That's number 3. Number 4 is to have total gratitude for what is in your life. And I think 5 was to enjoy the journey, which is really, really important. So I want to talk about that for a second, and then we'll dive into a few specific things that you can do today to begin to rewire your body, right? And so I'll give you actually, I'll give you an example after. So this process of enjoying the journey, sometimes we can get so focused on what we want to have happen that we look at everything that's in our life that we don't like, and we begin to focus on what we don't like. And the more you focus on what you don't like, the more you get what you don't like. Right. And so this piece around enjoying the journey is to recognize that there is always room for more. There's always room for more growth, for more joy, for more energy, for more vitality, for more really good people in your life. And if you can comprehend and sort of grasp this idea that there will always be more and that there's no rush to get where you want to go, you'll begin to enjoy your own process of growth and evolving. And when you can enjoy your process of growth and evolving, you won't be so focused on what isn't happening, and you'll just be enjoying your journey. And Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this a lot. I love him. We're almost birthday twins, same year, 2 days apart. And I sometimes really resonate with him because I'm like, we speak the same language. And it's this pure enjoyment of evolving and not being so focused on what isn't working. And he says, if you're an entrepreneur, you better love the journey more than you love the destination. You better love the process of getting yourself there. And so, sort of part of this is to really begin to enjoy one where you are. Have gratitude. I'm moving and I'm like, I'm so grateful I get to move. I'm so grateful that this home has been my home for 4 years. I'm like, and so I could be like, oh my God, moving sucks. It's not always fun, but I'm learning to make it fun. I'm listening to, audios that allow me to grow. I'm listening to music that makes me happy and I can dance while I'm packing, right? Last night I had a movie in the background while I was packing. So so it's finding ways to enjoy the process of getting you where you want to go. And if you can implement sort of those 6 characteristics in your daily life, you will begin to change the things you haven't yet been able to change. You will begin to see a difference in your own energy. And when your energy changes, you change your vibration. When your vibration changes, you change what you attract and who you attract. And so I would love to offer all of you that are listening, by the way, thanks for tuning in every week to the show. And if you like this show, please feel free to share it anywhere you see it. And also, please feel free to subscribe. And you can also send us an email or a message or follow me on social media and follow the radio show on social media and be updated on all of the happenings and all the live shows. And so, um, this piece that I want to give you as an offering and allow you to sort of practice in your daily life right away is this concept of changing those vibrations that you're used to living and allowing them to expand us into something greater, right? So I'll give you an example. When I was going through my hormonal shift, I'm of a certain age in which my hormones have started to change. And I got to tell you, it was pure hell for a little bit. um, I've talked about it in past shows. So panic attacks, anxiety, depression, lethargy, I had to stop working out. I was exhausted all the time. I had no motivation to just be. I just didn't feel like myself at all. And so I did absolutely everything that I could think of to try to change my hormones. I had blood tests and urine samples and, poops, I can't say it, stool samples. I also, um, did hormone replacement therapy and did all these capsules and did a whole, like, there are a couple things that did work. And they were really helpful. Liquid DHEA is freaking gold. Liquid estradiol and liquid progesterone, gold, gold. Helped a lot. But um, I spent thousands of dollars trying to fix my hormones the way that we're told to fix our hormones. And what actually changed my hormones is I said, wait a second, I'm an intuitive. I help people transform their bodies, transform their relationships, transform their businesses, transform any challenges that they're having in their lives, right? If I can do that for other people, why can't I do this for my body with my hormones? And like a light bulb went off. And so I decided to ask myself, can I start sending my body a message to naturally energize and turn on my body's ability to change my hormone levels? And it was like, a eureka aha moment, right? And so I began to ask my body if it would be willing to balance out my hormones. I woke up and I began to ask my body to balance out my nervous system. So I wasn't dealing with the panic attacks and the anxiety and the irritability and the food cravings that I hadn't had in over a decade, right? I was like, okay, we got to navigate something. And so instead of saying, oh my God, I'm going through menopause and this is terrible and I'm going to have to go take hormone replacement therapy, which didn't work or didn't take for me in the way that it has for some of the people that are in my life. I'm not saying don't do it. Okay. I'm not saying don't get the medications, don't go see the doctor, go do it. But then also, you can begin to communicate to your body. So if you have a heart condition, stop saying you have a heart condition and start asking your heart to heal the thing that began the heart condition. Right? Sometimes, and this is just my own point of view, I am not a doctor, I'm not a medical expert, I just happen to be intuitive, and my area of intuitive expertise is through the avenue of the body. So I am able to see people's entire lives, past lives, current life, future stuff, all through the avenue of their body. And so if people's kidneys are depleted, right, sometimes I can see that people weren't born with healthy kidneys. Maybe they sort of took on a family lineage thing. It doesn't mean that they have to be stuck with it for the rest of their lives. And so if you have a heart condition and you can say, okay, I'm going to ask my heart to energize my heart to heal the condition. Oh, wow. Maybe it's from a pain that I don't even know, that I don't even remember. So our body and our bodies hang on to moments that the body will remember that the mind will forget. And a lot of people have this with childhood trauma. They'll stuff away the memory of their childhood trauma, but the body remembers the trauma. And so then later on in their life, whether it's in their 40s or 50s or 60s or 20s or 30s, whenever it is, some health condition starts to emerge that feels like it's out of nowhere. Most likely, it's the body having a challenge with decades of a trauma being trapped in the body. And so, my role as an intuitive is I go into the body and I release that energy and I let the body know it can go. Guess what? You can also do it. You can just ask your body to heal everything that hasn't been working. So stop telling yourself the things that aren't working. Oh my God, I keep gaining weight and I don't know what's wrong. Now, I'm giving you this advice and I've caught myself in my own journey when I went through, started going through perimenopause a year and a half ago. I had to stop myself, realize what I was doing to myself. I was making my condition worse instead of being my own healing advocate. And so each of you can be your own healing advocate. If you have, lung problems or you have kidney problems, or maybe you're dealing with scar tissue in your body, you can literally stop saying the thing that keeps that in place and ask your body to begin to energize what would heal it. Hey, can you energize my metabolism? Can you turn my metabolisms back on? So, a lot of people don't always know this, but we have so many metabolisms in our body, right? Not just one, but most of us cut off almost all of our metabolisms by the time we're 12 or 13 years old. And, there's a metabolisms to metabolize energy, to metabolize food, to metabolize toxins, to metabolize information, right? There, digestive enzymes, like all these things that we can begin to ask our bodies to turn on. And so what I want to invite you to do, and these are the two basics that I do, that are actually three that I love, is I'll close my eyes, and you can do it with me. Is you want to just close your eyes, and you're just going to say hi to your body. And I want you to become aware of your tailbone. And you're just going to energetically say hi to that tailbone. And as I say hi, I can feel an intensity there. I'm like, okay, that's right. I can feel you. And so as I feel that, I'm just saying hi to my tailbone. And then I'm going to ask my tailbone just to release 1% of everything it's hanging on to. Just release 1% of that anxiety, 1% of that tension or fear. Right? We're not going from 0 to 100. We're just 1%. But guess what? If you did this every day for 365 days, you would have a completely different body. Okay? So okay, I'm going to release any anxiety, any tension, just as much as I possibly can. 1% of that. There we go. I'm going to release from my tailbone all my survival instincts, all my clenching, all my hanging on. Just 1% I'm going to let go of today. And then as you do that, you start to become aware of your whole, from your tailbone all the way up your spine. So your whole spine. And then you just ask your spine to light all the way up into where your vertebrae, the top of your spine, meets your skull. And then you're going to ask for your spine to light up, and just ask for a 1% shift in elevating your vibration. And as you do, you're going to ask for your nervous system to balance out. Right? Because the nervous system really is the root of it, is the spinal cord, the spinal fluid, right? From the tip of the tailbone all the way up to sort of the occiput, which is that bone that sticks out in the back of your head. And so you just ask for that nervous system to balance. 1%. 1% releasing that energy. There you go. You're going to ask for the spinal fluid to energize, right? One of the ways in which we can really heal the body and invite the body's own natural ability to heal itself is to invite fresh oxygen into the body. And how do you do that? Through breath, right? Through those giant inhales in through the nose, exhales out through the mouth. And then, so that's number one, the nervous system. Number two is the connection between the heart and the kidneys. So the heart houses, right, the blood, right? And so we want the blood to be fresh, alive, pumping through the body. And a lot of people right now are suffering in their kidneys. Kidneys sometimes can represent fear, right? Afraid of making a change, afraid of moving forward, right? Kidneys can sometimes be depleted. And when the kidneys are depleted, sometimes it's harder for fresh blood to circulate through the body. And so there's two ways to do it. You're going to, one, ask for fresh blood and oxygen through your inhale to enter into the heart. You're going to ask for the heart to fill out with fresh blood and fresh oxygen. And then you're going to sort of invite the kidneys and the heart. And all you have to do is ask. The body is like a super highway of consciousness where it responds to energy instantaneously. You don't need to use your brain to figure out if it's working. You just need to ask the body. And because the body is 60 to 76% water, the body will respond. Right? And so now we get this fresh blood and oxygen pumping in through the heart, get the heart pumping. And now we're going to ask for that fresh blood and oxygen to also go into the kidneys. You just have to ask and it will do it. Yeah. So yawning is how I usually clear any blocks or clear energy, which means that it is beginning to work as you listen to this, whether you're listening to the live recording or will be listening sometime in the future. And then you just get that fresh blood and oxygen pumping through the heart, pumping through the kidneys. So that's number 2, right? Number 1 is the nervous system. Number 2 is the heart and kidneys. We're going to do 4. Number 3 is just asking for brain fog to leave and for your head to become clear. And all you have to do is ask. And I kind of visualize almost like a house cleaning of the head, getting rid of those cobwebs and the junk and the stuff that's been sticking around. There you go. So number 1 is the tailbone, nervous system, spine. 1%, you can just ask it to surrender and release. There you go. Number 2 is getting fresh blood and oxygen pumping into the heart, and then allowing the fresh blood and oxygen to flow through the body, and especially to open up those kidneys. Number 3 is to ask to eliminate the brain fog. There you go. And ask for mental clarity, right? To energize and to make space and room for mental clarity. There you go. See, we're clearing some roadblocks. And so just asking will begin to, there you go, open it up. And then number 4, my current favorite, is to ask for the hormones in your body to balance and for the stress hormone cortisol to dissipate and release out of the body, right? So if you have trouble losing weight around your belly or your upper thighs, and chances are you are have higher cortisol levels or they're constantly activated and never get a chance to rest and relax. And so we're just going to ask for the hormone levels to balance out and the stress hormone of cortisol to release. Right? And then you can take this a step further in a lot of different ways. You can ask your body to energize your vibration with attracting abundance. You can ask your body to make money in your sleep. You can ask for your business to grow. Right? You can ask for your heart to attract relationships that will help you thrive. And so one of my favorite things to do is to have these transparent conversations with my body. So I will write down, and I actually, there's a bunch of questions in my book, Don't Diet, Be Happy. This is my own copy that's been well used. And there's some great questions in here that you can start asking, but you can pretty much ask your body any question, write down that question, and then give yourself permission to stream of consciousness, begin to journal in that energy, right? And what might come out will surprise you. And the more you sort of dissolve the high stress levels of cortisol, the more you begin to balance out your progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, and all the other hormones, right? The more mental clarity you create, the more your communication between your heart and your kidneys start to sort of reactivate and balance. And the more that you sort of begin to heal and give your body permission to heal your nervous system, you'll be a really clear channel for your future. And so, if you truly desire to transform your life, you can activate these energies in the body to give you space to move forward in a way that you never have before. And it's powerful. And so it works. And yes, I use like DHEA and estrogen and progesterone, but I every morning do this routine where I get out of bed. I've gotten a little off my routine in my moving and packing up like my space. But I every morning when I can, I try and talk to my body, right? I thank it for where I'm at. I I ask myself to, be aware of any limiting beliefs that I might want to stop in their tracks. And when you start doing this, you'll begin to notice an energy and start to pay attention to what is working in your life instead of the old focus, which may have been to focus on what doesn't work. Where successful people really thrive is they don't energize the stuff that isn't working. They just that's just part of the journey of evolving. They're like, oh, it's not working. Okay, I must need to work on myself or I must need to evolve. But they don't go, oh my God, what's wrong with me that this is showing up in my life? It's just part of the process of growth. And when you begin to comprehend that as a part of your journey, it will change your future. So I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to listen. I have a breakthrough body challenge coming up in a couple weeks that we'll put live on the website soon, but stay tuned. I do have a free download up on my website on how to heal your nervous system. And we do some somatic exercises that a free video download. It's free. It's for you. If you'd like to go to my website, you'll see on the top banner, it says free download. Click on that. It'll take you to a page that will give you access to a video and a PDF that explains just the importance of healing your nervous system. And when your nervous system is healed, you now have the foundation to change your life. So thanks for being here. I can't wait to see you next week. And if you implement these practices, let me know how it goes. And we'll see you in a new home next time.
Katherine is not a medical practitioner nor a licensed therapist. She has strong opinions and will express them, and truly believes that you are your best advocate for any and every area of your life. If you need medical advice, please consult your physician.